tell already they wanted this to end badly, man. You can see it in their faces. Um, but yeah, overall, good game. And I think the last one for Wasco, I think he got a bit of his his last two World Cups, his exits had been pretty bad. And I think this one he could at least leave with his head high, and I think the fans will let him rest now.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Joel. I thought there was more in store for us. This felt like we got shortchanged. I did feel like this one being at home, with all the historic, the fact that it was the Azteca for the third time in the World Cup, the fact that we hadn't lost in Azteca, it really felt like this run deserved at least a quarterfinals look. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, man. Like, you can't take what you did in the previous 4 games into this game. It's a 0-0. And honestly, I was shocked at how, I don't know, it's like that lapse of judgment, the lapse of focus. I didn't realize how fucking lethal England were gonna take advantage of those situations. Because I see it time and time again, because of our region, right? In CONCACAF, you can afford to have 1 or 2 mistakes, even against CONMEBOL teams.
Yeah.
Or so far in this World Cup, we've had those moments of oops,
Yes, sir.
and we were not penalized. We kept a clean sheet, and it just shows how sharp it is to play against one of the top. They're ranked 4 in the world. Today we got a good look at what a top 4 team looks like. And I know that they played ugly. I'm talking about England.
Jaime, the thing is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, just to add to what you're saying, Mexico doesn't really have world-class players. They had at least 3 players at that level, at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't. This squad doesn't have any. Our hopes is that Mora could be there. Quinones, as good as he is, he's just not.
I think
not at that level either.
I think Quinones showed in this World Cup that world class he's just just a step below world class, but he showed in this World Cup that he is one of the top players. For his position. I mean, I know Saudi Arabia League is, not the most prestigious leagues, but he showed that he's one of the top goal scorers in the world. He has 4. He ties Matador Hernandez, who also scored 4 in '98, and Chicharito, who took him a couple World Cups to get to 4. I do want to bring in Super Elbow. Welcome, Elbow. Talk to me.
My dear friends Jaime and Joel, how you guys doing, man?
I'm doing fine, man.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not over here with my head down. I think we had a great game.
Yeah, no, me neither, man. I think I was on the same boat as you were when we went down 2-0. I figured Mexico was going to fight back. This team in particular didn't seem to have this I'm going to bitch out type of mentality, man. And that they closed that second half. Freaking England's lucky they didn't get scored a second time in that second half, man.
Yeah.
Pickford, their keeper,
or a second PK, or a second PK,
yeah. Pickford's probably their MVP, man, because he took that first one from Raul, man. Oh my God, man! I screamed it, and it didn't go in, man. And that was impressive by him. I think before I go on, man, hats off to Memo Ochoa for a great career. I know this is it for him. You see him on the screen, just walking around crying and stuff, but hell of a career, did a hell of a job for the national team. But man, I feel encouraged about the future, man. There's some pieces in there that I think are gonna pay off, right? Gil Mora in particular. I mean, the one spot where that will be a little bit questionable will be the normal one, the striker position. But I feel like Hormiga at some point might get his chance, and somebody else might pop up as well, man. I'm not feeling sorry for myself about this loss at all, man. I know there's people that are bashing Vasco right now. I got nothing to bash him for, honestly.
I will say I don't think he made the right substitutions, in my opinion, especially with like a man down. You cannot take out Quinones, man, unless he was like he didn't have any like legs left. You just cannot take him out. And I wasn't a fan of the Memote move, because aside from him being tall and obviously like a threat in the air, he doesn't do anything else. And for me, we needed more dynamic. We needed more speed. I honestly felt like Hormiga got shortchanged in this World Cup. He should have gotten more minutes, and he didn't get any after the first game, which is really disappointing. And you saw how hard he took it when he was crying. He didn't even play any minutes in this game, and he I feel like it was just it was a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to agree with you on some of these subjects probably tomorrow or the next day. Right now, I think I'm just kind of processing what I saw, the positives. This was mistakes or not, this was probably the best managed World Cup by Aguirre out of the three, and I mean, he did what they hired him to do, and that was for him to not embarrass Mexico, and to build some sort of community between them. And this team was very united, man. My hat's off to him for that, and for the players, man, buying into that.
We have Rifado. Talk to me, Rifado.
Hey, you guys hear me? I'm using a new mic today.
Sounds pretty bad.
All right, I'll figure it out, man. I'll chime in later.
All right, let me get in Albert. Let's see if he can get his sound situated. Sabio, talk to me, man.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It was cracking. You know, it's everybody, you know, got on the, wanted to believe, and rightfully so. You know, it was Mexico was playing at home. You know, you saw the party atmosphere and the Reforma, other parts of Mexico, right here in the United States. But like I was telling Joao in the chat, it's Mexico overachieved. 2 years ago, we were sorry, I don't want to cuss. It looked doom and gloom, and Vasco came in. He did his bombero work, but you know what? He was just able to do a competitive team, and that's what it was. It was the team did a solid group stage, which allowed them to stay within El Azteca. And you know what? They lost to England, and you know what? It's logical. I've always said it here. I've said it. I know everybody after Ecuador, they were, we could be friends, but it's easy to be overtaken by euphoria, but you know what? Mexico doesn't have elite players. They don't have elite players. What was the one thing everybody was talking about? The altitude. They weren't talking about Mora. No, they were talking about the altitude. So that shows you that Mexico doesn't have those guys.
Albert, I'm glad that you brought it up, because I was really irritated with all the English media and all the pundits were talking about. That's what they led with was, this game is at a disadvantage to us because the altitude, not even acknowledging our run of form, the fact that we hadn't conceded a goal, so they really did not rate us at all. And they said that their players were miles better than us, and
rightfully so.
And I think today we showed them. I think we got the respect today. But for me, it wasn't about respect. For me, it was to beat them. That was like, that's how you get respect, is to fucking beat them, not fall short like we do every 4 years. So, part of me is frustrated because we had everything to our advantage. Like, if there was any opportunity for us to beat England, it was this one. It was because we're not going to get an advantage like that in a future World Cup. So,
but Jaime.
In the past 4 years, maybe longer. Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say, behind me in these high stakes game, respect and value only get you so far.
Yeah.
It's the talent, and Mexico needs those. I think it's more than proven now that Mexico needs those guys and those Champions League knockout games and those big clubs.
Albert, do you really think so though?
That's what it was. I think that could have been the difference today. That it just, like I said, this was a scrappy bunch of overachievers.
To me, one of the most. Let me just say something, and then I'll let you talk, Joel. the thing that just kept impressing me over and over again, and I yelled every time he did it, dude, Lira, he had Bellingham, he was taking his lunch money the entire game. I'm like, bro, Bellingham is like one of their best players, and this guy that plays in Liga MX is dominating him. And I'm just like, dude, like, I don't think we need to have a squad of 26 players playing in Europe. I mean, we showed today that we could go.
But that'll be the difference maker. That's going to be because Lira's an outlier. Look at the rest of the team. There was a point of the match where you could tell the physicality and of England. It was starting to wear it was starting to be a factor, and that's what those two goals.
I think it was the tactical. I think this is where Javier Aguirre was exposed tactically, because it was very, very evident that they did their research, and I look at the third goal where it was Pickford, a beautiful goal kick and immediate threat to the Mexican back. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know if they just thought it was like any other goal kick, but they lack concentration there. And Tala kind of like hesitated, and boom, that's the difference between us getting this game into overtime and possibly winning, and us losing is we had way too many mistakes.
Jaime, after that, before that, Julian, the Bellingham brace, it was like, I remember one time I was a JV and they put me to play with the varsity, and you could just feel the difference, and that's what it was like.
Yeah.
Like you could just start to feel it. And you know what? Honestly, if it wasn't for the red card, I think England would have kept pressing, and they probably would have gotten another one.
The amount of
besides the
I just wanted to add to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mexico hasn't really done much in the past maybe 10 years.
Exactly. Exactly.
Especially, so I understand at the world stage where a lot of the teams or even fans didn't rate Mexico because we just haven't been there. The biggest tourney they played was Copa America and the exit group stage. But part of it is like lack of tournaments now. But so it's a team that hadn't really done much. But I think now they did enough to build from, and that now they should start doing again. And then the second, I agree with you, Savio. I think the physicality, you could see the difference. Dude, some of those, we had no answer for Gordon, dude. If that's because I was like, if he was
Gordon was a problem. Gordon was a beast, dude.
Gordon was a problem.
Yeah,
but anyways,
that's why massive props to Megs, because despite his deficiencies, they had these guys to the last minute.
Okay.
I'll be honest, man. I don't see this as a lack of talent problem. I think Mexico. I think it's just it's tactically, bro. I honestly think that bro. Your best idea is to throw in three center forwards. Come on, dude.
Talent. But you know what? I mean, you know what?
Wait, really quick, Jaime.
Dale, Juan.
If they play 2-2, you don't think England would have?
No, I just think that it was a mistake to try and win. Like, basically, Mexico's entire strategy in the last 10-15 minutes is just trying to boof it up to the fucking air and try to score that way. It wasn't gonna work out that way. They should have kept.
Yeah, they needed to put it on the floor. They didn't have the players
to do.
They weren't. The second the ball went in the air, we were losing those battles, bro. And they kept trying to do it over and over again.
I agree.
And that's where you need somebody to break the lines, to be dynamic, to try and penetrate through the middle and force a mistake. And I don't know why they kept trying to.
One guy that could do that in the 17th.
Well, yeah, but he got subbed out.
All right, you know what, guys? Before I say good night for the evening, I want to say that, you know what, hoping for a Greece 2004 Euro run. It ain't it. You need to do, and it's a life lesson. I'm gonna take it's a life lesson. You got to do things the right way. And that's when you're gonna get results. So hopefully the suits get to work, they let Rafa work, and 2:30 that's the cup. Good night, guys.
We have thank you, Albert. Abdias is here. Welcome.
Buenas putos. ¿Cómo andamos?
I'm fine. It is what it is.
¿Sabes qué, güey? Yo también. ¿Sabes qué? Metimos huevos, metimos garra. Y al fin del día, ¿sabes qué fue lo que pasó, güey? Errores a lo pendejo.
Yep. 100%.
Falta de contundencia. Fue lo que le faltó a México. Pero ¿sabes qué, güey? Estos cabrones, hoy, ese 11 inicial y hasta eso, los otros pendejos que se vinieron de sustitución, esos cabrones representaron la camiseta con todo lo que queríamos. ¿Verdad? Because let's be honest, and I heard you guys like complain, world-class players and this and that. Our plan was to wear them out. A que no, cabrones. In the first time, les estamos metiendo la pipa over and over and over again. How many missed chances did Raúl have?
He didn't. I mean, also Pickford took 2 goals away from him, bro. Like, you got to
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, how many missed chances were there? Because he was on that ass.
Yeah.
He was fucking on it. Y luego, güey. So, le estás metiendo todo el puto chile a los ingleses. Y luego, porque un gol. Está bueno, se durmió la defensa. It's coming on the cross.
If the ball's not going in the net, then we're not metiendo chile. We're just teasing the chile. You're just rubbing it there. You're not exactly putting it in, man.
Mira, Joel, I'm trying to not be too graphic, but you mean to tell me you never just put in the tip, taking it out, and wiggle it a little bit? Because if you haven't done it, ask your girl about it. She's missing it. That's what we were doing to them the whole fucking time. ¿Verdad? Se la metes un poquito and you wiggle it around. And we were getting them, way. We were fucking chasing after it. Y luego Jude Bellingham makes that beautiful run from deep inside the field all the way through, and everybody sleeps on that cross. Everybody sleeps on it.
Piojo was marking him, and then he just stopped. I don't know what was he thinking there.
I watched it develop, and I was like, wait, he's fucking running. It's like that one play where ¿quién fue? Santi. Santi gets that beautiful movement. Is it Santi? No. It was Romo. Romo gets a beautiful movement in the first half while we're attacking. Cuts all the way from the wing into the center. He gets a cross in and he fucking misses it. Like, Mexico was playing the right fucking game. Pero la falta de contundencia fue lo que nos chingó. Porque, güey, no mames. No podemos decir que no tuvimos chances y oportunidades para terminar el puto juego, especialmente cuando hubo 2 penales a nuestro favor y ese equipo estaba jugando con 1 de menos y con la altura y todo lo demás en contra de ellos. Entonces, no quiero oír de que México jugó como nunca y perdió como siempre. No, güey. Metimos el puto Chile, hicimos todo lo que pudimos. ¿Sabes qué fue el puto error? ¿Sabes qué fue el puto error que me duelen los pinches huevos? Santi, güey. El pendejo de Santi. Por años he estado aquí defendiéndolo y diciendo, no, ese es mi gallo, es mi canterano, vamos a darle tiempo, vamos a ver qué es lo que pasa, vamos a ver cómo es que evoluciona. ¿Y sabes qué, güey? No, Santi. ¿Sabes por qué, pendejo? Desperdiciaste the number advantage that we had on the fucking field.
It was the wrong move.
La ventaja numérica. He did.
It was the wrong move to bring him in. We have Habibi. Habibi, talk to me, man. How you holding up?
Hey, guys. I wish I could be as positive as you, but, I'm going to have to disagree. Like, I know Super Elbow said, we'll touch more on this later down the road, but I'm just going to bring it up now. It's first of all, that penalty that Brian won over, it was smart on his end. But to me, it was like a bullshit penalty.
It was a soft call. Got it. It was a soft call.
We got it. It went our way. We got a red card in our way. We had the script that usually the favorite gets, that the script that the underdog has to go against. Mm-hmm. We get a red card in our favor, a soft call in our favor, home crowd in our favor. And then everything else just looks stupid. We said it from the beginning. I don't know why Sanchez is starting over Reyes. We talk about Bellingham going down the middle and Piojo losing him. Piojo was doing double the work. He's doing his defensive work and Sanchez's defensive work. Same thing with Gordon. The first half, Gordon was just cooking.
I'm surprised they didn't expose that or try to exploit that even more, dude.
Exactly. Like, I feel like Reyes would have been better off there. And then Montes, unfortunately, he gets hurt. Edson, the first play, he clears it out, and it's the one where they hit it and it hits the post. That was off on Edson clearance. That penalty as well. He's man marking Kane, and they get unlucky, and then Tala comes in, and the stupid mistake on his part as well. But let's skip all the way to the end. You bring on Brian, you bring on Fidalgo, two guys that know how to touch the ball, que la saben mover. And what do you use them for? Just to launch crosses?
Yeah.
That was it. You brought those two guys on for that? Like, this is what we've been coaching up for the whole time. Those last 11 aggregate minutes, I think Pickford had one save. One save in those 11 minutes.
Yeah, we didn't really test him at the end. Looks like Rifalo wants to speak. Talk to me, Rifalo.
Hey, good evening, guys. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, much better now.
Hell yeah, guys. I wish it was under better circumstances, man. We were close, but we need to do an autopsy of what went wrong. And the first goal, you guys already explained that perfectly. And in the second goal, everyone is so amped to get into the English side that everyone rushes ahead.
Yep.
And Mora is left as one of like four guys in defense, right? That second block. And what he tries to do is the most naive thing. He tries to take on two guys who rob him and then maraud down the field with acres of space. And then, the second goal comes, dude. And then for the third one, that was all Tala, man. He should have came out with he should have been quicker off his line, dude.
Yep.
And over and over again, we were exposed by long balls.
I don't
long
You
balls.
wouldn't say that's part of the inexperience of this squad?
Nah.
Because again, it's a limited squad, and it's not a squad that had been doing things for a long time. This squad's just got put together not that long ago.
Dude,
Their first
All
play of
right.
the game was
That's a
so
good
long.
point, Joel. But tonight, right now, I don't want that one. I don't want that bullshit. That's a conversation for later. Tonight, it's how it is that they performed.
Dude, Rifalo's
All
spot
right.
on with those long balls, dude. I don't know if maybe they just saw that we hadn't been tested like that, and obviously they have the height advantage, but Pickford I commend him because almost every team tries to play out the back, but for some reason England's like, hey, you know what? What if we just boof it up and see what happens? And it worked out, bro. It worked out for them. And I do agree, man. If you look at the autopsy, it's just lack of focus in these little moments that cost us the game. I don't think England beat us. We beat ourselves, to be honest.
But I do want to say there's an obvious class indifference. Like, they are head and shoulders better than us. You look at the value of their squad; it's in the billions. Ours, we'll be lucky to crack 100 million. But what? Like, that's not so much important as what I want to get into. Oh my God, it's slipping my mind. But what's it called? Oh my God,
It'll come
I've
back,
been
dude.
drinking too much.
It'll
All right,
come back.
Riffy, here's my question for you. Did you see all of those fucking sterling silver pounds come into play? Because I didn't.
I didn't see it
We
either.
had them.
Wait,
We
hold on.
fucking had them. I didn't see
Five
the
shots,
difference
3 goals.
in fucking
They
roster.
must get his way.
Hey, I saw it, man.
We were
Bellingham.
one man up. We were one man up, and we couldn't press them off the ball. They played through our press, even though they're tired as fuck and they're one man down. And I was like, damn, dude, it's never been more evident.
Yeah.
The gulf between our level and like those top, shelf players that are worth hundreds of millions.
And athletes too, man.
But they
Like,
didn't
dude,
look
athletic-wise,
dangerous, way.
For me, it's like we didn't
They
learn.
didn't look
No,
dangerous. No me
Fabias.
estaban haciendo el
Cinco
cosudar.
tiros, 3 goles.
We
Look,
didn't-
Jaime praise Lira, that Lira was, cooking Bellingham.
He was, dude.
Yeah, maybe in that individual battle, but Bellingham was dealing with Lira, was scoring goals, was defending in the box. Lira, all he was doing was just trying to win that midfield, and that's where you see the difference in class.
I recall at one point.
Hold on.
I recall at one point Jude got through like 3 or 4 of our players, and I was just like, Jesus, bro, this guy is the real deal. Yeah, dude. For me, it's just mistakes. Mistakes ended up costing us. And we were up against, was it South Africa in the first game? What was the game that we had the red card? It was South Africa, right?
South
Yes.
Africa.
Yeah, and we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know how to play them with 10 people. And I feel like, dude, I get it. Like, what are you guys doing in training? I know you guys are hitting each other with noodles, But I feel like you need to like recreate these moments in training and be like, yo, when we're up a man, like we need to approach it this way. Because I've never seen England give a team that much respect. In the last 10, 15 minutes, they were just like, we're just gonna try and hold on to this lead. I've never seen them just like just park the bus, dude. It was,
bro, they fucking bunkered. They
crazy,
bunkered
bro.
hard as shit. And every single ball, it wasn't a pass. It was a fucking clearance. They were sending it way the fuck back. Did you guys see how far up Tala had to be playing to
I don't
like get those
understand you guys
boots?
saying that you're proud of the team, because the way I see it is, if not now, then when? Like, they parked the bus against
when
us.
there's better
all
players.
all we had to do was tie it, and we get extra time and we kill them. They were exhausted.
yeah.
Me-
No, yeah.
Mexico relies on the crop of about 20 players, dude. If you want to compete against the Englands and the Argentinas, you need more than 20 players.
But-
And any cycle, World Cup cycle, which is 4 years, right? From when the World Cup ends to the next one begins, there's going to be about 80 players called into the national team. And if you look at Liga MX, there's about 120 players, national players. That means almost pretty much every player is going to get a shot.
I mean,
You know,
Hormiga sneaked into this roster, and
Yeah,
he was
You
not.
got to play.
I mean, we didn't have a proceso, we didn't have like a qualifiers, but
No.
he just, that's how bad the striker situation was, and that's why I'm so surprised that Aguirre kept picking Santi over and over in these matches. We have a new listener that wants to speak. Ernesto, talk to me, man.
Yo, is my mic on?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say, obviously the players play their heart out. Obviously you guys hit the nail on some of the aspects. I do think though that, what was it? I think like the first 20 minutes, we showed England a little bit too much respect in terms of how offensive
Yeah, I agree.
we were playing. But again, I'm going to say this. I don't know if it's been said, I just joined, but I do think that Aguirre again shits the bed for a third time. Fidalgo, the subs did not work. Fidalgo didn't work. Memote didn't work. Santi didn't work. And the thing is that you play these players the same time, same position, nothing different for 4 games out of the World Cup. I don't know why he was thinking that was going to work in such a crucial moment, especially when we're up a goal, down a goal actually. But then also you take out Quiñones, which is your main goal scorer in the time where you need another goal.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that makes no sense.
But you know what? Just a little pushback. Because then to say, if you would have put these other players, it's a bit of wishful thinking, because it's like, well, when has the national team done that?
No.
When have they done it? And with enough, a lot of these players weren't even a part of the national team. Vega probably never recovered. That's one of our creatives that's what they took him. And so there's really no one. Think about it.
Well, look. So,
Luis
look,
Chavez,
you had Luis Chavez, which
We
can
didn't
create
take a
his own
long
shot.
shot.
He can do the free kicks, center the ball.
Yep.
The main person who was centering the whole game was Piojo. And then at one
And
point,
Gallardo.
and Gallardo. But at one point, you can tell that England is double marking Piojo because they saw that he was the one making that difference. He was
Yeah.
centering to Raul Jimenez. So if we're up a man, if we're down a man for England, we should have made that second sub of a striker. But the thing is, Aguirre was terco. Santi has no rhythm. Memote was never that striker. And then your other striker, which is Hormiga, you don't have the confidence in him to even use it. So he himself dug his own, by his own decisions is what I think is that difference maker. Because think about it. England took out Saka. Saka
I know.
and other times, he's one of their key players. Yes, Bellingham was the one doing a lot of the damage, but not even Kane was even that great today. Yeah, he drove that penalty, but Kane wasn't that much of a threat. The one that was a threat was Bellingham and Gordon. And this is, again, what I was going to say is Jorge Sanchez did not need to be in this team. He played the whole World Cup being probably the weakest person in our squad, and that cost us the game as well.
He had a great World Cup, man. I know I'm not a fan of Jorge Sanchez, and there were I don't know, like, dude, he overperformed.
Gordon skinned him alive,
That's
man.
a hot
Gordon
take,
skinned him
man.
alive, bro.
I didn't think he had a bad game, a bad World Cup. Like, where was he exposed today? Tell me, explain to me. Was it Gordon?
Oh, he lost. Was
Yeah, he
getting
lost
cooked
like
by
2 or
Gordon
3 foot
all
races
game.
to Gordon.
I don't.
Yeah.
Even the
It's a
Bellingham
it's a
goal, the
tough
first
task, bro.
Bellingham
I mean,
goal.
I don't think
Alright.
Israel Reyes
The
would have
first
made a
goal-
difference.
The
Oh,
first
All
goal,
right, guys,
Yes.
I need a reference point here. In the last
look,
4
the
games,
first goal.
when has Mexico played a rival of England's level?
No,
And
no,
they did the right
Reyes.
cambios and they came back and won it.
Reyes is 10 times
Which
better
one? Which game?
than Sanchez.
Do you
For
guys have a
me,
game in the last 4 years?
I
And you
but
bring one
I
up.
would have.
But look, England wasn't even playing all that great.
They
in the
weren't.
group
Okay,
stages
but of
either.
that level,
Dr.
Okay,
Congo
is there
almost
even
knocked
one
him
match
out.
we could use as reference
But
to
but
say
no,
Mexico's capable of this? This team is capable of that.
But the strategy was not capable. To build off what Ernesto was saying, Gallardo and Piojo are signing into the crosses. The crosses are getting cleared. And who was picking up the trash outside the box?
Okay, but have we done it?
Listen, wait, hold up. Edson and Johan and Fidalgo. They were the ones that were getting the trash. Fidalgo wasn't taking the shots. You didn't even want Edson.
He took one. He took one shot.
That's the
I-
one where
but
That's not a reference, though.
you needed Luis Chavez. Luis Chavez.
That's not a
Yeah.
reference of what is capable of doing.
I agree.
That's not a reference with what you just
But,
said.
okay,
You're not giving a reference.
But it's like the same way if you want a reference of how Cabo Verde was going to play. No one knew what the hell they were going to bring to the table. And
Yeah,
they
but
shot the team.
but that's
They shot
different.
the
That's
team.
different than saying,
hold up.
oh, if they would have done these changes, they would have beaten Argentina.
No, because you have okay.
They
Chavez
never
did
been at a World Cup.
did a World Cup process with us, though. We know what Chavez is capable
Yeah,
of.
but I'm talking about in the last 4 years because the last
Chavez
this
was,
this team
was
had
one of the best
three
ones in 20
different coaches. That's what I'm saying. In the last 4 years, when did this team do something like that?
Okay,
That we could say we know what this is team capable of. That's why I'm saying they failed against this team
But half
because
the
we've seen
team-
what they could do.
half of this team was in 2022, though. Jimenez was in
But that's what I'm saying. You guys
Gallardo
are
was in
like wishful
22.
thinking.
It's
You
not
have no
wishful
reference,
thinking, though.
and you're
It's
making
not-
this
I don't understand your
expectations
argument, Joel.
with nothing
You
there.
lost me, bro.
Putting
What?
a guy.
Let's
How
move
did I
on.
lose you? I'm saying, okay, no, wait, you give me the reference then if I lost you. You give me that
What are you
reference.
talking about? I'm sorry. I'm
Dude,
lost in the
pay
conversation.
attention, right? Look, this is what I'm saying. It's easy, dude.
All right.
Saying if you guys have this belief that Mexico could have done X, if they would have done these cambios, that they would have been this much better. Say, okay, Jimmy, show me a game where they were able to do
it's
it in the
more-
last 4
Joel,
years.
It's not a reference
Wishful
point, but
thinking.
it's more about the traits of
Wishful
certain
thinking,
players.
bro.
No.
It's just
What
it
do you-
is wishful thinking.
No,
because we don't know. It's
Joel,
subjective.
hold
It's
on,
subjective.
hold on. Let me say something. Luis Chavez, what he brings to the table compared to Fidalgo is he's much better at set pieces. He scored that free kick against Saudi Arabia in the World Cup 4 years ago. There's your reference point. He's much lethal outside the 18-yard box, and I think I agree. He should have been that should have been the move instead of Fidalgo. I agree there.
Yeah, like I think we could have been better if we wanted to cross the ball. We had better players to cross the ball, you know, in Chavez and Vega, like was mentioned. But
You had
if
Mateo
you wanted-
Chavez on the bench that knows how to cross the ball.
I know,
Yeah.
but I don't think that was the right move. I think the right move was we're not going to beat these guys in the air.
Yeah.
They
Play-
have numbers
play the
in
ball.
the box. We
Play the
have
ball.
to we have to try to unlock the defense. So this was someone who likes to gambetear. You know, someone like Orbelin or we really don't have anyone.
You know
We
what
really
I
don't have anyone.
You know what I think happened is they saw how Quiñones scored that first goal, which was a scramble in the box from a corner kick, and I thought, oh, let's do that again. Let's try to do that again, and let's put even bigger players in the box and scramble. I think that was like Aguirre's plan, and it didn't work out. And I just felt, dude, we have much better talent off the bench that could have penetrated England in a different way than trying to just do what we always do, which is try to cross it into the box.
But that's Aguirre's style, though. He's shown that
Yeah.
in all the
At the end-
processes and every
yeah.
team. He doesn't know how to attack. You had Ormiga that scored 20 goals in a year. Yes, he didn't get enough chances, and we can say the inexperience.
Wait,
But at the same time,
doesn't know how to attack. I think this is one of the World Cups where Mexico scored the most goals.
no. But yeah,
How do you explain that?
okay.
What?
But
The level of opposition, Joel, that's number one.
Oh,
you want to know how I know
did
Aguirre
Mexico
doesn't
score
this is the
against
only-
Angola?
This is the only
Look,
team that
06,
we.
how many that they played
Aguirre-
against Angola?
Okay, but look,
0.
you're saying because he scored more goals. I'll give you an example.
No, but you're saying he doesn't know how to attack.
Joel, let him talk. Let him talk.
Finish the
You want a reference? In the inauguration game, right? We're up a man for almost a whole half of the game. Instead of doubling down on getting more goals, what he do? He went passive against the Korea game. If that error doesn't happen, we don't beat Korea.
It's a
We
1-1
did not
game.
attack South Korea in a way that you think that we won. Yeah, we made a goal, but that was just because the goalkeeper had an error. But besides that, the only games that we did kind of attack more was maybe against Czechia, but that's just because Czechia needed to get open up and attack us more, and that opened up more spaces. Ecuador, that's probably the game that we attacked more the most. But even then, most of the time, everybody's main fear was Ecuador's a good team. So we had the momentum in terms of the style playing of being collective, but you have to also understand the type of players that have to do those set pieces that is required. If you put players that don't know how to do those set pieces, you're making the mistakes. Just like how everybody's been saying, you have Chavez as an individual player that knows how to create his own shot, that knows how to center, that does have a hard shot that you can test out Pickford, where if maybe he drops the ball, you have a Jimenez in the box that can tap it in, or a Quiñones. But you put in Santi Jimenez and you put him in Mote, where in neither of their teams, they're that guy. So think about it. You're putting two players that don't got nothing to be there, and you're leaving out something like
I think the most frustrating thing is we could have won this game with a better coach. And like I'm being dead ass serious, because we did everything. Dude, I honestly think with a better coach, with better tactics, we would have won this game. They didn't do shit in the hydration breaks. You didn't see anything change with the they didn't take advantage of that moment of, hey, let's regroup, let's actually try it this way. And their only strategy in the last 20 minutes was, let's just cross it into the box against taller players.
And not only that, let me
Here's a fun fact, really quick fun fact. I'm not gonna say shit. This World Cup 2026, Mexico scored 10 goals.
Yeah,
The second
but
most
against
goals,
who?
let me finish,
Against
please,
who?
let me finish. Doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter, because if you go down the list, it's not like they're they just face world powers. But let me finish. Let me finish my take, man.
And I'll rebuttal. I'll rebuttal after.
Yeah, you can. 2026, 10 goals. That's the most goals Mexico has ever scored in any World Cup. Second is 8 goals, 1998. And 6 goals repeated in 86 and 70. Mexico doesn't really score that many goals if you go down the list of World Cups. And the World Cup, they scored 10. Now we're saying the team doesn't know how to attack for shit.
No, I'm saying a better coach would have won this game for Mexico. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm saying the other point. The guy said they don't know how to attack.
So you said we had 10 goals this season, right? For those World Cup season, right?
The World Cup, yeah.
Okay. We needed one more goal to tie. Right? Who was our top goal scorer?
Hormiga.
No, not
Quiñones. And he took him out.
Who got subbed out?
Quiñones.
Exactly my point. So yes, if you have someone that's scoring goals and you need goals, why are you going to take out your top goal scorer?
He must have been gassed or something. That's
know
my
this
only.
Coach broke a lot of records, and you guys never coached no more than this dude now.
Look, man.
That's what I need to wrap my head around.
Joel,
Aguirre has coached.
He has a ceiling, Joel.
He is coached.
He does.
He has a ceiling.
But you guys don't know what's going on with a lot
what?
of these players and why some of them didn't play.
We found out Javier Aguirre's ceiling for the 3rd time in a row, and it's the round of 16. Congratulations.
Exactly. Espérate, cabrón. Espérate, güey. Démosle
tiempo.
Joel, we've given you time. Let other people talk.
There's a reason bottom teams fighting relegation come looking for him, and not teams that have firepower.
Exactly. Now, really quickly, I just want to chime in here, and I just want to point out this fact, and I'm not trying to kick the fucking hornet's nest, pero este cabrón aquí, ese puto de Joel has been a Vasco apologist ever since he got named, all right? So everything that he says right now is with a grain of salt. All right? Eso como está protegiendo a Vasco y quién sabe qué. No, güey. México jugó como siempre, y ¿sabes qué, güey? Terminó donde siempre.
Can I add something real quick?
Dale.
Is it me, or was the fans not really that engaged like in other games?
Well, think about it, bro. We've never been having to. Number one, we hadn't conceded a goal until today, and the stadium just went. It was like a shock to the system. We didn't know how to act, bro.
No, but not only that though. I was watching the game on Peacock. They didn't show the. I guess Mana had a halftime show,
Yeah.
but that also I feel like plays a huge part in terms of like the anemic and the morale support. Because I'm over here seeing that Mana's over here playing El Rey while we're down 2-1.
Well,
And
one thing that FIFA made everybody put their songs in before the World Cup started, and unfortunately, it was only a handful of songs that Mexico got, and El Rey was one of them.
No. I'm talking about them playing that shit live, like a halftime show.
Yeah, no, even at halftime, like there was a set list. Yeah,
I'm just like, in my opinion, is like, dog, like these games ain't for like to have the fun moments, and it's like, yo, be concentrated 100%. The reason I'm bringing it up, I'm comparing it to kind of when Chivas lost that final against Tigres, and they came out with like the little halftime show.
Oh yeah.
And like, to me, it's kind of like you're adding more fuel to the other team to be kind of like, all right, you know what, fuck them, let's go out and do our thing. Because after that is when we consider the not really saying that it's a direct linkage, because obviously, but in my head is the more like the mentality that we're going into these games. Like, this is the type of game where you have to be concentrated.
So they play it to drown out the P chant, bro. So
The what?
like
The P chant.
Oh,
The one
What?
before the
People are
PSS,
pissing?
the Puto chant.
Yeah.
Well, that's just one of the things I saw. I was expecting those last 20 minutes to be the crowd to put the pressure on England, and I don't think I got that feeling that a 80,000 stadium was like at all.
Well,
I
Ernesto,
thought at the
all due
beginning of the
respect,
game, they did a great job, and then but it was dude, it was like when we conceded that goal and then the second goal, bro. I mean, how do you expect the fucking fans to respond, bro? It was like a shock to the system.
All right,
Hey,
all right.
but
Really
hold
quickly,
on,
I'm gonna
yeah,
come in
so
on
I
this
got
one.
crowd too,
Dale,
man.
dale.
No, I'm just saying,
Okay,
it's like
so-
a crowd. We've been saying it for a minute. Toluca and Guadalajara are much more futbolero crowd than what is at Azteca.
No, wait, ni es eso. It's more of a psychological thing. But Riffy, you go first.
So first off, it's not the same Azteca crowd that you're gonna see in a Liga MX season, dude. It's
course.
the fresas, it's the casuals, man.
Influencers, yeah.
But I just gotta defend my boy Joel, man. It's not on Vasco, dude.
It is
Like,
on
we need to
Vasco.
be.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, Mora literally shit the bed so fucking hard, and
One
I'm gonna give him a
mistake.
pass. Yeah, one mistake.
What
and
about
that's one
Memote?
goal.
Explain to me Memote.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
No,
I
no,
understand
no,
the
no, no,
logic.
no.
Hold on.
No,
hold on.
don't
I'm not
whatever
done.
it. Don't
Hold
fucking
on.
whatever it. You
You're
explain
You're
it.
gonna love this next part. I'll get to Memote, but you're gonna love this next part. And then, of course, Tala Rangel shit the bed hard as fuck. And I love that guy. Fucking love that guy. I'm
How
a
did he
Chivas
shit
mano.
it?
On the
What do you mean?
third goal, the PK.
No mames,
goal,
way.
yeah.
How did he
Fucking
get it?
Sanchez did it.
Gifted
Wasn't
a
marking
people.
He
Gordon.
was slow off his line, dude. He was, se chiqueó.
That was
he didn't
a
go for the ball.
Mistake he
he died
had
for the
already
man.
done.
that was a game of
Mistake
inches,
he had
bro.
already done the
Hey,
previous match.
Rifaldo, slow off his line. You don't expect Edson to let
Yeah,
Harry Kane beat that.
that's the
at the same
thing. That was
time.
a
You want him to come
routine.
out?
That was a routine goal kick, and for some reason we lost that battle. It was a poor set defending on that one, and
But
Tala
these are
did.
individual mistakes, man. And Aguirre can't be, faulted for that.
I don't think
This
Tala
is on the
deserves
player.
any.
Faulted
so I
for
don't
his
think he-
tragedy to tie the game.
Tala does not deserve any criticism today. He had a great game, and
No. He died for the man, dude. He didn't even go for the ball. He went for the man.
But what are you gonna do when you literally is 1-on-1? Gordon beat
What I saw
Sanchez
him,
from the back.
he
though.
doubted himself, dude. He doubted himself, and he was slow
Yeah.
because he doubted himself.
He might have-
Same mistake he made in the previous
it might
match.
have been a split second of hesitation. But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, it was a play that the defense should have won, and they didn't. And
Two mistakes.
That's why
two
you're the
goals,
last
man.
man
That's
of
not the coach.
defense, the goalie. That's when you come up.
Pero no mames, Jaime. I know for a fact you're a motorsport fan and that you spend track time. What does that half a second of hesitation
yeah,
cost
bro.
you? It costs you fucking everything.
But
and you know
on
what
the
it cost
flip-
us?
hey.
It cost him going against
On the
for
flip
the fucking
side,
man.
on
It
the-
wasn't the ball, it was the man.
Hey, on the flip side, let's say he does jump the gun, and then he gets exposed. Like Gordon dribbles past him, and then we'll still blame Talavera for that. So either way, it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. I honestly think that play falls more on the fact that the defense was sleeping on that goal kick, and they kept trying to do that game in game on, and they looked lethal every time the ball was in the air. And I just to me, it's like, why did we keep trying to cross it in? There's a tweet that has me dying right now. He says, I know Mexicans are Catholic, but they should try something other than crosses.
Oof. Porque neta, way at a certain point, so earlier when we were talking about bunker ball and the way that England was playing, if you notice, they concentrated all of their efforts in the center field. They gave up the wings except for Piojo, because they noticed that the whole fucking attack was being developed from the right side with under Piojo. They ignored everything else. They were focusing. If you looked at their lineup, everything was in the middle. Everything was in the middle. Entonces, no mames, way. Those last minutes.
Once they stopped Piojo, then they would go ahead and shoot a long ball to Gordon. And then, you know, Jorge Sanchez would lose the foot race. And
because it was the opposing fucking wing.
Yeah,
so
no,
all of Mexico is
Piojo's.
Not during the first half. Did they change during the second?
No, because Gordon was on the left. Gordon was on the left, and that means he was being marked by Jorge Sanchez, and that, you know, what's it called? The Piojo was on the right, like right in front of Jorge. So like they would stop Piojo, and then they would recruit the ball, and then they do a long ball to Gordon, and then Gordon would beat Jorge Sanchez, and then, you know, it was like that, rinse and repeat. Or if not, hoof it long to Harry Kane, who's gonna knock it to Gordon, who won the penalty. You know, like that's how they beat us basically.
Yeah, no, dude, it was fucking wild. Now, really quickly, I want to step this back, and I want to address what our latest guest speaker who came in here mentioned, and he said how the fans didn't seem to be all that involved. And you know what, man? I'm gonna break it down with you, and I'm gonna bring in a little bit of psychology on this one. All right, so let's look at the last game before. We were at the round of 32. This was our first time being there. There was this sense of excitement, this sense of like, who knows what happens? You saw the fans be fully in it, right? You heard the ECC chant coming from the fucking stadium down onto the pitch. It was beautiful. It was one of the greatest things that you've experienced. Why? Because this was a new moment for us. This was something that we had never experienced, nothing that we had ever faced. And we said, yes, sí se puede. Podemos ganar este partido. Podemos ganar la ronda de 32 y avanzar a los 16avos de final, a los octavos, round of 16. We can do this. Luego, we get to the round of 16. And you know what happens? When you start to look at the psyche, it's, hey, we've been here before. How many times have we been here? How many times have we crashed? This is our ceiling. This is where historically we fail. Entonces, cuando regresamos a la Azteca y estamos ahí, ¿sabes qué es lo que está pasando el detrás de nuestra mente? El miedo, el fracaso, los fantasmas. Entonces, la afición se empieza a desconectar un poco. Hoy no oíste el ECC. No oíste un sí se puede. Oíste un estadio.
I heard the sí se puede, but
I didn't hear ECC. I heard puto.
Enough.
I heard puto loud and clear. But most of all, you know what I didn't hear? A whole fucking stadium that went quiet for the second half of the first half.
Yeah, it was. I mean, think about it, dude. Down 2-0. And that's why I called everybody out on the chat, bro. Everybody was like, oh, this game's over. I'm like, how dare you, bro? How dare you write us off 30 minutes into the game? Like, come on, dude. There was plenty of football.
I said it too. Because you know what? You know what was my biggest observation? And you know when was the moment that it fucking all crystallized? And I'm going to touch base on a different sport. And if we all watched it, we did. When the fucking Dodgers came back and beat New York in New York, that stadium, the fucking Yankee Stadium filled with cuck energy. You saw it when those fucking bombs started to land. And just to draw the parallel today, when that second goal from Jude fell in, because it was in what? A 3-minute fucking span.
2
it was
minutes.
back to back.
It was right off kickoff.
Dude, it was fucking ridiculous. Like, those two happen, and you start to feel the stadium get filled with nothing but cuck energy.
And Abdias, and that's why on the previous episode, I'm like, I want to know what this Mexico team looks like if they concede first, because it hadn't happened all World Cup. We hadn't been tested like that, and to have to do it not one but two right off the bat, I think I was like, oh shit, bro. It was like, you know, everyone has a game plan until you get punched in the face. We got socked in the fucking mouth. And it was crazy. But so I commend this. I was like, if there's any chance of us coming back, we have to score before halftime. Because 2-0 going into that locker room, you might as well write it off. But we got that goal back. And that's why I didn't feel like we were going to lose the game. I'm like, we'll come back. We'll find a way to tie it. But go ahead, Ernesto.
But we were down 2-1, and you can tell that the stadium went back up.
Yeah.
I think it's obviously that penalty happens, but then we also had the red card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I didn't see Mexico's intensity like the last 10 minutes of the first half and the second half.
No, I think the first half, the England was begging for the whistle because it really did feel like we were going to equalize. I will say,
but that's what I mean though. Like you just said it yourself, right?
I will say
you saw England begging for the whistle, but when
to me it was obvious the next players also were tired.
When did you feel England had that same kind of like, hey, we need this to end for us, like in the last 15 minutes of the game? Like everybody's been saying, like they knew they already had neutralized their attack. They weren't really worried. For them to even put Ollie Watkins in for like the last 5 minutes, that just shows you like they were just waiting. Like, you know, if there's a chance for a counter, we'll go for it. But I feel like we fell more into England's game style of play instead of just focusing on what made us good for like the first 4 games.
I do have someone from maybe the English side that wants to say something. I'm going to patch you in just a second. One thing I want to just like in a nutshell, like how this game went and the lack of concentration. Gutierrez on the PK, when we kick off, he dribbles it and then we have to give it away to England. That just shows the lack of the concentration we had. I've never seen someone on kickoff touch it twice, and then we have to give the ball up to England. I've never seen that happen.
Oh, the indirect ball right in the middle.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like I said, though, Aguirre used the same players over and over again. Gutierrez. Why couldn't he switch it up? Like, you have other people with different mentalities. You could have easily put Orbelin. You could have put in Chavez. You could have put in, who else was on the bench? Maybe someone a little bit more mature. Gutierrez hasn't really played that many games for the Selección.
He looked a bit shaky. We have the London Geordie joining us. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing good. How'd you see the game?
Yeah, I mean, I predicted before that it would be either 3-1, 3-2, 4-1, or 4-2 to England. Now, here's the thing. I was saying this to my fan because I'm a Newcastle fan. And the thing is, when you have a home team that has really passionate fans, they don't want the team to play ultra defensive. That's the thing. So what happens is the opposition team pick you off, right? So so for example, recently England played Serbia. Now the Serbian home fans are really passionate. Now, when England, can the other person put their mic on mute, please, while I'm speaking? It's a bit distracting. Yeah, no offense. Yeah, I think it's Ernesto. Your mic is on, sir.
There we go.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So basically, if you look at England, Serbia recently in the qualifiers, at home, England struggled against them because they sat back and they played deep. England won 2-0. However, when they went to play Serbia away, England, because the Serbian home fans, just like the Mexican fans, are really passionate. Now, what happens if you have a home support that's really passionate? They don't want your team to put 11 men behind the ball. Now, Mexico, they're too open. Here's the thing: if you got players that are near England level, I mean, your defenders, one plays in the Russian league, right? I mean, nobody even thinks the Russian league is even the real football league now. Nobody goes there, right? No Mexico player gets in the England squad. So the thing is, Mexico played with emotion. The thing is, in football, you have to play with your brain, not emotion, right? Now, Thomas Tuchel, he's a super intelligent coach. He won the Champions League, right? With Chelsea against Man City. Man City is a superior team. That's the thing. When you play in football, you cannot be persuaded by the fans to just attack. You have to look at who you're against. England have got Harry Kane, one of the best free strikers in the world. Jude Bellingham, one of the best number 10s in the world, right? They don't even need to be in the game. They need moments. They're moments players. You give Jude Bellingham 2 moments, 2 goals, bang. Mexico don't have those players, Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham. So why were you going gung-ho? Why were you so attacking? Like, I think you were too disrespectful to England. Like, you're thinking there's some shit average European team. England are ranked 4th in the world. They're not ranked 4th in the world just because, I don't know, they give Infantino flowers or some shit. Like, you needed to play with your brain, but you played with your hearts. That's why you lost.
Yeah, let me jump in, guys, before we all pounce on the London. Thank you for joining us, and I really appreciate your perspective because we need it, right? Like, we're all Mexican here, and we live in a bubble. We follow Liga MX. Obviously, we do follow like the World Game, Champions League, all that stuff. For me, respectfully, Mexico at home with the fans and the altitude and all the things that were brought up before the match, Mexico cannot go into this game and concede possession and be submissive to England, despite how, you know, they're ranked 4 in the world. You know, we if we do that, they would hang the coach at halftime. We had to go and try to be the protagonist in this match. That's just what we had to do, and it was probably the wrong thing to do. Like you said, you know, Tuchel's a very smart coach. We don't have that, man. We have a glorified cheerleader in Javier Aguirre.
Well, it almost worked.
He was brought in he was brought in as a fireman to put out this fire because we were not
Qualified cheerleader.
He's a qualified cheerleader. Let's call it what it is, bro.
Look, well, see, the intention was if they could score early, then they'll make England chase the game. But to this guy's point, England is a much stronger and better physical team. We couldn't match up to them physically, man. That's the thing. I think a lot of you guys don't.
So
get.
why cross the ball? That falls on the coach.
No, it's on our players. We don't have athletes at that level. And look, being realistic, how many of these players do you think are going to go to Europe and play in top teams? Seriously, how many? Maybe Mora in a year? Come on, who? One.
Look how Paraguay played against France. That's how you guys should have played. That should have been your game plan.
That was ugly, man. The way Paraguay played against France, that's embarrassing. You know, I'd much rather lose the way we did against England than the way Paraguay lost against France. That was.
Well, look, if Jimenez scores that goal early on.
Yeah, Pickford had a great. He had a great game.
I think Mex would have stand a bit better chance. They were a team that had been doing well controlling. They had not had to chase the game throughout the whole World Cup in 4 games. And that was the thing with England. They didn't just score once.
See, here's the thing.
Twice.
England took their chances. The big players take their chances in big games. You didn't. When you had...
Well, man, you guys have the better players, too. We were just talking about the quality of your players. I mean, you guys had like 5 chances to score 3 goals. And I was telling these guys, we play open. England scores double the amount.
How many shots did he have? He had 3 or 4 shots, right? But that's the reason. I mean, Jimenez, no offense. I mean, I'm just looking at things objectively and statistically. He got 9 goals in the whole of the English season. Now he signed for a 2nd division club in England. Like, if you put him next to Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham, you don't need to be a football genius to see the level of difference in the quality of the players.
But even though you're saying that the quality of England hasn't shown that quality this whole World Cup. You have a Ballon d'Oro player like Jude Bellingham that is carrying the team, but then you have people like Saka that hasn't done nothing in this World Cup. Declan Rice hasn't done nothing in this World Cup. And honestly, you guys struggled with Congo. Ghana, you guys barely tied a 0-0. Croatia was probably your guys' best game. And today, obviously, we did have an error that you guys conceded 2 goals. So I don't think just because England is ranked 4, that means anything, because as the World Cup has shown, the teams have been playing at their levels, and England has been struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I would say England, the thing is, in tournaments, we scrape it by. We don't play good football. Like, if you watch Euro 2024, literally one match they won on penalties, one match they were about to lose until they scored the 96th. They just don't play well in tournaments. They scrape by. But the thing is, they've got that mentality a bit from the last few years where they've reached 2 Euro finals, where they play shit, but they kind of, you know what they say about teams that are successful. I mean, we haven't won anything yet, so I'll put that disclaimer. But that's the thing about top teams, is you can play shit and you can still win, and I think it's a mental thing more than a technical thing.
Yep.
That's something you need to have.
We didn't have composure in the final goings of the match. It was just cross the ball into the box and hope for a header from one of our tall boys, but we weren't going to win that battle. And and
plus when they put Dan Burn on, like, the guy is 6'7".
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's the lack of a coach, and we'll see if Rafa Marquez can take this team further. He is set to take the helm. after this World Cup. I mean, that was the plan all along. He was brought in as assistant coach to Aguirre, and
I
there.
don't even want Rafa Marquez as a coach, to be honest.
Oh,
Pero
stop
mira,
it,
güey.
dude.
Mira, no vamos a empezar con eso. Mira, espérate, güey.
Has he
Let's
proved
hold
his
on.
credentials as a coach? He was a brilliant player, of course, for Barcelona, but has he proved his credentials as a manager or a coach?
Well, he
for
got
the team?
plugged
have
from
to do it.
Barcelona B. That's the thing, that he got plugged from Barcelona B, where he was going to be developed.
But let's be honest, man. You know, foreign coaches, it hasn't really worked out. You know, look at Ancelotti. It didn't work out for Brazil. You need someone that knows the country and is a countryman. You know, I'm gonna like Donna Hill saying that. I know Tuchel. We'll see if he can pull off a miracle with England, but I think at the end of the day, no one's won a World Cup with a foreign coach, and it's probably gonna stay
Pero
that way.
Jaime, no mames, güey. Ancelotti didn't do a bad job. Ancelotti did not do a bad fucking job.
Dude, they got eliminated by Norway today,
No,
so yeah, he did a terrible job.
No, Brazil was sipping shit up until before
I
he
know,
came
but
in,
at the end
and
of the
he
day,
propelled them
he
much
has to
further.
take-
Entonces, no
They're gonna
mames,
blame
güey.
him.
Sounds awfully
Nah,
familiar.
Bro, you
hey,
put
but-
in with a conscious mind. You put in Neymar in this game. What are you thinking?
And he scores a fucking PK for you?
penalty.
That was
bro.
a sentimental move. That was a bad move. That was a sentimental move.
That was terrible. That was like when
But-
we brought in Ochoa, but at least when we brought in Ochoa, the game was already set. You know, it was 3-0.
But
Now,
but
really
Brazil's
quickly, I want to
problem-
point out what the Londoner said. All right, this motherfucker over here who comes in eating fucking beans on toast. All right, I want to talk about this one. All right, the way that you describe a game and the way that it's supposed to go, that's what Mexico played every single game leading up until this point. We were dragging it out. We were getting ugly fucking wins. That's what I was expecting out of this one. Unfortunately, when you do get into the caliber of the opponent, that's where things start to get a little bit murky. But Mexico was on your ass, bro. You can't say that they weren't. Mexico was stepping on your fucking throat the whole time up until
But so
you
was
scored
Congo.
that second one.
So was Congo in the round of 32, and Kane pulled it off with like he said, you know, they just need moments.
But see, if you look at Brazil v Norway, they had a game plan, and if you got a beast like Haaland, you give him 2 chances, 2 goals. That's it. But Brazil don't have a Haaland now, do they? I mean, they had Ronaldo 20 years ago, but they do not have a caliber of that striker now, do they?
But that's because Brazil is not exporting the talent like they used to. Like, the talent is, in my opinion, Brazil isn't the same Brazil that we grew up with.
Oh, the problem
because-
is they're sending all their players to
This
England.
is the worst Brazil
Yeah,
team I've seen in
that's
a
what I
long
was
time.
gonna say. I think
They're-
Brazil is
they're-
exporting too much of their talent.
They're exporting their players to the wrong league. They're not. They shouldn't be playing the Premier League. They should be playing La Liga.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The exportation is when they're too young and they're not getting that grit from their own league, and then they're becoming obviously more assimilated with the Premier League, La Liga, Italy League, and you know, like once you want to mesh them, like it just doesn't work out. Like today, Ancelotti, like yeah, you know, say what Ancelotti's accolades are, but to me, I don't think he was the right fit for Brazil just by the people that he took over. When you have a striker like what was his name, Igor, and then you have Endrick, but Endrick doesn't work out either. So you put Cunha. To me, Ancelotti didn't have the right people, and I don't think he ever even knew how to get the right people. But that's just for Brazil's standpoint. But in terms of today, I just think that like how they were saying, I think Mexico was being more dominant with England, but it's just like I said, the caliber. I would say not more the caliber of the players, but more the caliber of the coaching is what it was our main downfall.
And
Tuchel versus Aguirre, I would take Tuchel in a heartbeat over Aguirre.
Of course.
Not because he's a foreigner, but just because he's
Smart.
proven himself where he can take a team like Chelsea or go to other teams and create moments where Aguirre, obviously, when was the last time he won a championship? When was the last time he was offensive? He had Monterrey with open wallet and couldn't even go past cuartos de final.
Oh, why you gotta say something so brave, bro?
Hey,
Why you gotta come in here?
This
and
reminds-
I hadn't
speak
even heard.
facts?
I haven't even heard of your coach before the tournament. He's not a name that's known in Europe or a big name in the footballing world as a top
He's
manager or
known in
something.
La Liga. He's
But
known in La Liga.
they don't watch La
okay?
Liga,
He's
Joel.
coached teams.
Hey, London.
That- well, I'm
grow
just
your-
saying,
oh,
man.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying he's just known in La Liga. He's basically coached relegation-bound teams and
He did coach.
he saved quite
He
a
coached
few.
Egypt and was it Korea or Japan? And then they booted him because he was associated with match
He's
fixing.
being investigated.
He was being
He's the
investigated.
He was
ex-Atletico
clean.
Madrid coach like 20 years ago. But you
But
know,
like
I just
mid-level
wanna-
Spanish teams, like
Yeah.
top level
Nah,
teams.
Yeah,
He
lower
coached
level.
He
More
coached
like
Atletico Madrid. That's probably like his claim to fame. But honestly,
but,
he's
you
been
know,
You know, the sad thing is, people are gonna say, and people have said on the panel that he's the best Mexican coach we've ever had, and that's just how embarrassing and how we need to.
Okay, so who's better?
I'm just saying, like, that's embarrassing that this is the best we have. Really,
really?
Round of 16 really is the best we can do.
Isn't it
When
kind
have
of
they
tough
done
for you
better?
guys? The last six
I-
tournaments.
When has
challenge-
Mexico done better? Never.
I could
But isn't
I
that
could
tough for you?
challenge
Like your last
Technically-
6 tournaments, you finished in the sixth round of 16,
Well,
right? If I'm
technically,
correct.
because this is a new format, this is our 5th game, but it's not being claimed like that because it's the
It
new
is being
format.
claimed now.
No,
Well, that's
no,
why I said.
The
Hold
format
on.
changes all the
That's why I
time.
said the whole psychological thing. It's how deep into Joel. Really quickly,
What?
it's not how many games you play; it's how deep into the tournament you make it.
because
Yeah, but the
Alright.
tournament
it's
changed.
just 4 games.
Tournament
It's
changed.
Mira,
just
güey,
1970 was only 16
déjame te la
teams.
pongo más fácil.
Only
It's like-
16 teams
mira,
in 1970.
it's
Went
like
up
when
to
you,
24, then 32, now 48.
mira,
What, you
güey,
guys
it's
want to
like,
go back to 1970? What is it with you guys, man?
Joel, mira, güey, déjame te la pinto tan fácil así. It's like when you're fucking a bitch, all right? It's whether you're playing with the lips or you're rearranging her guts. Which one is it?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, but the girl has changed. It's not the same one. You guys keep making it seem like it's the exact same
Guys,
one. but
I
it's not.
have a
It's changed.
question.
Bro,
Yeah,
the
I have
goal
a-
has been
hold
the
on,
same
hold
the whole
on.
time. I want to rearrange those fucking guts, all right? I want the cup.
Let London speak.
Okay, see, I'm pointing on the question. Here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. Do any Mexico players play for Barcelona or Real Madrid or Chelsea or Man City or PSG or Bayern Munich, top clubs in the world? I think your
No.
best player, one second, let me just finish my point. Your central midfielder, he played for West Ham, who got relegated, and he was a squad rotation player. The other left winger guy, he plays in the Saudi league, and that's like a camel league. Nobody
But-
takes that seriously in Europe.
Hey,
Ah,
but, hey,
goddamn.
I
but
actually
that's
agree
not
with you,
even
man.
fair
Big
with
way.
the top goal
100%.
scorer, though. That's
Ah,
Saudi
the Londoner hit.
goal scorer over everybody else in the Saudi team and was our actually top scorer. Edson was in front of
Bro, don't defend it, bro. We got nobody.
No.
I
but
do
hold
have
on.
to defend it. I do
Ernesto,
have to
no, hold
defend
on.
it.
Like I
So-
said,
so-
team
so one
doesn't
thing.
matter. Why do you
Hold
gotta
on.
aim so hard?
Let
Wait,
me-
come on,
okay,
it
Let me
hurts.
say one thing to the London guy.
Okay, give me. Okay, hold up. Let me spit some facts right here. We all talk about, yes, the Premier League is the top of the creme in terms of the league, but we're acting like England's players are all top level, all top elite players. Not all of them. Gordon's in Newcastle. Pickford's in what? Everton.
Barcelona signed Gordon, just for your
Yeah,
reference.
he just got
okay,
signed.
hey, that's fine. But what I'm saying though is like this though, right? You're what's it called? You're gonna have those individuals, and you said it yourself. The individuals is what's making England work. Jude Bellingham obviously is your guys' more caliber player. But after Kane though, like who will be your guys' next replacement for a top goal scorer?
Bro, we're
guys
not gonna
have-
go. We're not gonna go play for
England
player with
only have
England.
4 or 5 world-class players. But here's the thing: no team has 11 world-class players. Like if you look at the French team, they got Digny at left back, and he can't even get an Aston Villa team. So no team has 11 world-class players in every position, do they?
Hey,
But for all your quality, we gave you a run for your money.
it doesn't matter. We lost the
almost
game,
beat you
bro.
guys.
We
Yeah,
lost the
it was a good
game.
It was close. It was close. For all their quality, for all the billions this team is worth, this English team, we exposed them.
I mean,
a
the
few
gaps
times today.
Yeah.
We gave them a run for their money.
But
It
we
was
talk
close.
about this all the time, guys. Every time we get eliminated in round of 16,
Pero
but we
Jaime.
almost had you.
Gentlemen,
Pero
Just
Jaime,
well, you
why-
guys forget a couple
Look,
things, man. One
We had
is that
hold on. Let me just respond to London. We have had players that played for. I think 2014. Javier played for Real Madrid. We've had players at Barca. We've had players. In the past, we have had players at those top clubs, but
Yeah.
for some reason,
Yeah, I was speaking about the present team. Yeah.
yeah, but for some reason, when we had majority of our squad in Euro based, because everyone says, "Oh, you got to get all your players out in Europe because that's where the most competitive leagues are in the world." For some reason, we couldn't gel as a team. This is by far the best chemistry I've seen on this team, and most of our team is based domestically. So I don't know. For Mexico, it's weird, man. It's hard to
Look,
explain.
But see, look,
this
it doesn't.
English team was one of the World Cup teams that had to travel the most. So then to come into Azteca and then the altitude and all that really got to them. That was part of it. Why Mexico team is a team that was overachieving. Not much was expected of them. I've shown you guys with a lot of the stuff that was being said just at the start of the year. A lot of pundits didn't even have him qualifying in first. They had him at third best, at best. So it's a team that overachieved, and we with England, the game looked the way it did because we had advantages as they should as the host. But if we were to play neutral ground, the best of six, I don't care who you put as coach. You're going to see the reality, man.
Hey,
I just don't want to see the reality of Mexican soccer right now, dude.
See, guys, I have a question for you. So, from the current Mexican team, would you say any of them would come in the top 5 Mexican best players ever? I don't know. I'm thinking names like Hugo Sanchez, Rafa Marquez. Sorry for my pronunciation; it's British. Chicharito, Jorge Campos, Andres Guardado. These, I would say, are amongst top 5. I mean, would you say any of these comes close to the top 5 in your current team? Top 5 Mexican footballers of all time?
No.
I respect your and admire your honesty.
No. The only one that might have the potential, we'll have to see how it plays out, is Gilberto Mora, who, again today showed his lack of experience in that second goal. But he's young, man. He's 17 years old. He is probably the closest thing we have to potentially having a world-class player one day, depending on where he goes in the summertime. Quiñones is making an argument but he's old and he's playing the Saudi league, so I don't know, man. I don't think any of these players in the squad. People will say Ochoa, but Ochoa's,
Well, half this roster is going to be not in the 2030 World Cup. I'll tell you that much right now. But speaking with London, do you feel like your English team is capable of advancing further, or do you feel like this will be it for them as well?
I don't know. I'd say Norway is 50-50. I don't know. I'm fucking scared of Haaland. Like if he gets, I'm fucking scared of him. But then Norway will be scared of Kane and Bellingham. So it could go either way. It's 50-50.
That's gonna be a great game.
It's the margins will be very thin. But I would just give a shout out to Raul Jimenez because he was a 1-in-2 striker before his head injury. So obviously anybody who has that head injury or that level, it can affect you. But he was, I would say he was a 50 million player before, 50 million plus player before that awful head injury he got.
Yeah. So I saw a tweet that was really funny. Jordan Henderson is making history as getting booked and injured without playing a single minute in today's match. Looks like he got injured during the celebrations. So have to.
Yeah, he fell overboard. You can see the clip as well if you're that interested.
He got stretchered out. And he picked up a yellow.
Yeah, you see, Jordan Henderson, the fans are really baffled as to why he's in the squad because it's like he's a nice guy and he's good for team spirit. But in the Premier League this season, he's been a squad rotation player for Brentford. And there's other midfielders like Adam Wharton of Crystal Palace, who I think, in my opinion, are better than him. But I don't know. That was a funny one. But yeah, he fell over today. Yeah.
Hey, the London, from the Mexican side, what was the player that surprised you, impressed you the most?
I don't really know. I mean, that guy who was carrying inside, I think he was playing on the right wing, and he put a few good crosses in.
Yeah, Roberto Carlos Alvarado.
Hold on, you mean our guy with the mullet?
My boy Pistaches in Chile.
I think he was playing on the right wing. He was cutting in he put in that cross in the first half for Jimenez, the one that Pickford did a good save of.
Hey, London, whenever you have some free time, bro, I want you to Google this name. Peso Pluma. That's the haircut that he has. It's a Mexican thing, and you'll see children with it. Just Google Peso Pluma.
Yeah, he's got that weird haircut. Well, look, we got to the round of 16. That's why in the previous pod, when everybody was ganging up on me, it's a historic run. I'm like, we haven't accomplished anything yet. We get past England, then we'll talk. And unfortunately, we're at where we usually always end up at, is the round of 16. We're going to finish in the FIFA rankings, I think, in the top 10. So we have that going for us. I just hate that we have to wait another 4 years to have another crack at this and to go against world-class opposition. It's really unfortunate. There's only every 4 years. Our region is holding us back dramatically. And, we only play against Goldman both sides ever so often. So we're not going to be tested like this until another World Cup, or maybe if they bring back Confederations Cup. But that's the reality.
It's going to be a long time.
Also, I think what happened is because of this World Cup, it was made bigger into 48 teams. Now, that kind of diluted the quality of the teams in the group stages. So a lot of fans are like, oh, yeah, America, we won all 3 games. We're good. Oh, this is our time. Like, no, put up America again. I mean, Belgium game is 50-50 in my opinion. And then if they beat Belgium, who do they play? I think they play Spain or Portugal. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so.
They'll get down by Spain or Portugal.
You see Belgium versus the U.S. going 50-50? Come on, my dear good sir.
Belgium's not that good.
I mean,
against the U.S.
Rescinded, man.
All right, now when you have the powers that be and the president calling in phone calls and asking for favors, I get it that it's hard to win. But when you look at footballistic value, bro, I think fucking Belgium's gonna dog walk them.
Belgium hasn't been playing that great.
They've been playing like shit, dude.
But what happened against Senegal? I thought that game was dusted. Then they came back from the dead, like 2 late goals, and then. But they got Doku, who can be brilliant on his day. He's inconsistent, and then they still got De Bruyne, and Lukaku is always a monster for Belgium. His club form has been shit. I think he's got 3 goals or something this season, but he's a monster whenever he plays for Belgium. And if you got De Bruyne and Doku, you can always have hope.
It's not just that, man. It's not just the fact that he's a beast when he plays for Belgium. It's the fact that he hates African nations. All right. And he will do everything in his power to bounce out an African nation. Now, if you look at the U.S., mostly African American. So that heritage, that self-hatred might come through for Lukaku and put out the U.S.
Here's a stat. Tonight, crosses. Mexico had 49. England had 4. England was the only team to score from a cross. So,
no mames, güey. And how many
you were looking dangerous in your crosses, but then he put Dan Burn on, who's 6'7", and he was just a beast. He's a beast in the air.
Yeah,
exactly. Defending.
The cross goal was the first one, right? The one that was low driven. Because I don't remember them heading at all, so it must have been that one,
the
right?
Bellingham goal, dude. Did you watch the game?
That's what I'm saying. Like I was thinking when you said cross, I'm like, wait, which one was it? The low driven one? Because that's the only one I remember. Shit.
In a way, the red card worked against you because England thought, okay, we'll just shut up shop. Let's put on another centre-back 5 at the back. Whereas I think if the game had continued, England would have been more open, so it maybe would have been easier for you. But then because of that, they were just like, fuck it, let's put 5 defenders on. Let's just sit deep, ultra defensive.
Nah, but the red card worked. It's not that it didn't work for our advantage. We just didn't know how to react to it because right after the red card is when you guys scored the penalty. And then that's when we started kind of like shifting the game plan.
But I think like the chances you had in the first half, I think after the red card, you didn't really have those chances. See, the thing in football, it's a weird psychological thing. But if you go down to 10 men, it makes you like work harder than you would with 11 men. And a lot of the time, teams win with 10 players against 7. Like last season, Newcastle at home to Man United, they played far better with 10 men. I don't know if it's just a subliminal thing or it's a subconscious thing, but that happens a fair bit in football. I wouldn't even say majority of the time, but a lot of the time, teams with 10 men, they just put in an extra something comes from somewhere.
It's because we were playing with 10 men as well. We had Jorge Sanchez.
That's funny. Look, I don't want this one to go too long. I'll let everyone have their closing thoughts. It's Sunday night. It could be Monday morning for those in the UK. So I appreciate everyone jumping on after the match. But for those new to closing thoughts, we always give everyone their opportunity to have their last thought before we sign them out. So who wants to go first?
I go first. And also a question if you guys want to answer. Do you think the 1 hour delay helped England more? I don't know what your thoughts on that, but I would say, I predicted this result before because sometimes home fans, and I say this as a Newcastle fan, when we had a much more average team before the current ownership, they would be like attack. And the thing is, when you're playing teams like Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, you can't do that. That's why they were getting beaten 4-5-0 at home. But I think at the end of the day, what was the one factor? I would say it was a coach, because our coach is, I mean, he's considered one of the best football coaches in the world. So I think that was the factor. But on another day, if you had took your chances, you guys could have won. England, they took their chances. So that's what football is all about, really. The team that takes more of the chances and the day wins. And on this day, it was us. On another day, it could have been you guys.
For sure, the London, thank you for joining us. Honestly, if this game would have been rescheduled at noon the way it was rumored to be, I think that would have been a huge, huge advantage for Mexico. In the end, they stayed to the original schedule, and the rain delay, I don't think it matters much, to be honest. It was only an hour, and the last game was delayed as well. So, yeah, it just rains a lot around this time of the year. Who's next?
You know what? I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come in here hot. I'm going to come in here fast. So, cuidado a quien le salpique. All right? So, first off, and most importantly, the Londoner, thank you, my dear good sir. You're a real one. Thank you for coming in here. Thank you for slinging mud with us. Now, next international tournament is going to be Club World Cup. If you're brave, come in here, because Cruz Azul is about to dog walk the entire world. But that's neither for here or there. We're going to talk about this once Liga MX kicks off. But, ¿saben qué, cabrones? Vivimos un puto mundial especial. Vivimos algo que honestamente le podemos decir a nuestros hijos que fuimos sede mundial por la tercera vez. Nuestro equipo nos dio más que lo que jamás habíamos pedido o esperado. Y al fin del día, tristemente, perdimos como siempre. Pero en diferencia de todos los otros años, metimos las manos, tiramos putazos, hicimos lo más posible y hasta eso, tuvimos a Talok de nuestro lado. Un hijo de puta que no se ha venido desde hace un chingos. Entonces, hoy, yo como mexicano, me voy con la frente hacia el sol. Yo no le tengo miedo a nadie. Les digo buenas noches y los veré en la próxima. Me encanta que les gustó el desmadre que hice aquí en mi casa, y cuando quieran venir a vivir fútbol como se debería de ser, vengan a México.
You know who beats this England team? What coach? Joel Wiki.
Oh my God.
Look, I knew that was going to tickle his fancy.
All right, Ernesto, you can go next with closing thoughts.
Not much. Obviously, I feel the World Cup should have been hosted a lot more in Mexico. I think the ambiance over there does not compare to what the USA was able to provide. Obviously, there's still a lot more games, but sad to see Mexico and not having any more games in the World Cup in Mexico is a little bit disheartening. But obviously, did I think Mexico was going to have this type of tournament? No, I had them ranked maybe at second. And also, I remember I joined your guys' podcast over here on Twitter after we lost against Venezuela in Copa America, and we had like a serious discussion about what we thought about Jimmy Lozano. So to see what we were at with Jimmy Lozano and to see where we're at right now, obviously I see some improvements, but obviously there's still some more stuff that we need to improve on if we ever want to go into the next round or even a lot more deeper. But I do think that I'm happy that we're finally going to see a little bit more of a youthful team. My only concern is now who will take mantle over that team. And if we're going to see another process like these last 8 years, where it's been kind of up and down, but more on the down end, but hopefully it's more on the upwards for most part.
For sure, man. We want to encourage you to join us on a later episode. We usually podcast every Tuesday. Looks like Liga MX is going to kick back up. We also have Leagues Cup, so stay tuned for more. Who is still going on closing thoughts? Is it Joel still on here?
I'm here. I'll go next. I got two quick observations. The first one being, this is the best World Cup performance for Mexico that they've ever had. Just in the fact that they won 4 games. They've never been able to win 4 games. 4 games, 4 clean sheets, and the cherry on top, 10 goals scored. So the most games won, the most clean sheets, and the most goals of any World Cup ever. And what that does is it raises the benchmark of what Mexico could do, and something to look forward to beat those type of records. So that's something good right there. And the second one, I see a lot of the comments where I feel there's always this expectation for Mexico to do more than they've been able to do. There's nothing wrong with having, to kind of want that, to kind of want your team to be better than, but sometimes the expectations are, unrealistic. And in the past, I've seen this, what has been Mexico's downfall. We saw it when La Puente was coach, team was doing good, but then they felt, no, if with a better coach, if you put in Ojitos, the team's going to perform and they're going to look like Toluca. And then the team ended up almost missing out on the World Cup. Same thing with Sven. Oh, we have all these Euro players. If we bring this Euro coach, better tactics, team almost got knocked out before they even got to the hexagonal. So, I mean, I can't see it with a lot of these comments. Oh, the better coach. We don't really know what would have happened. We've seen better coaches at the World Cup crash. Bielsa with Argentina, I know too. So it's all subjective at the end of the day. And for me, I'm just going to go out by Mexico has shown what they're able to do. And I agree with Savio. He's not here right now. He said they overachieved. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. There's a team that overachieved, and I don't say this in talking shit, because I think there's a lot to work with here. And I think Marcus is inheriting a really good team. And I will say this, there's going to be some expectations on him already going forward, where they're, fans are going to expect him to play better, especially hearing you guys talk. So I think you guys are already, putting all these expectations on Marcus before he can even play his first match. So let's see where that goes. And thank you for listening.
Thank you all for joining us on this special episode. It'll be future distributed to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to recap it and re-listen to yourself, feel free to do that. Hey, I think Mexico will leave the World Cup shortchanged. Era para más. I felt like we were going to go on a historic run. I felt like the party was just getting started. And we had everything to win the game today. At the end of the day, the better team won. So congratulations to England. That being said, I'm rooting for Norway. I'm going to root for all the underdogs left in this World Cup. So yeah, we'll see if Holland can get the job done. As far as the team, there was a shot with Bellingham swapping jerseys with Gil Mora. It looked like Bellingham was swapping jerseys with like a kid in the stands or like a ball boy. It's ridiculous how young and how small Gil Mora is. And he is the catalyst for the future. I'm so looking forward to what this kid where he will end up going, whether it's this summer or next summer. He is what gives me hope for the future. He's an exciting prospect, and I know he's going to carry Mexico. He's going to take this loss and try to use it for future occasions. A big round of applause for Julian Quiñones, really stepping up. He was born in Colombia, but he suited up for Mexico. He pledged his allegiance to Mexico, even when Colombia has asked for him. He said, "No, Mexico gave me the chance," and he repaid the favor by scoring 4 in this World Cup. And man, he really stepped up. He was the guy. Eric Lira, man, what a phenomenal tournament he had. The times that he pickpocketed Bellingham today, it just made me smile from ear to ear. I hope Eric Lira makes the leap to Europe. Piojo, the player that everyone said, why is he even in the World Cup roster? How is he even on here? They talk so much shit about Piojo Alvarado. I think he deserves a lot of credit, a lot of respect. And Raul Jimenez, man, just the miracle man, right? He should have been dead. He shouldn't have been anywhere near this roster. With that kind of fracture in his skull, he decided to suit back up. And I give him props because he had a greater second half of his career. I think the saddest part is the fact that the Azteca is done. No more World Cup games in El Azteca. I think some of the most exciting matches were placed here. So it's such a shame that the World Cup final will not be in El Azteca. It will be in some concrete parking lot in New Jersey that has no aura, that has no Riz. So I'm really sad about that. But yeah, what a match for the centuries. This was by far one of my favorite World Cups that I've seen Mexico participate in a long time. Might be my favorite one of all time. So I think everyone should be proud of what we did in this World Cup. The moments that we had, the fact that Ochoa got his send off against Czechia was beautiful. So many beautiful moments in this World Cup, and I'm so glad, and it was an honor to share them with everyone here on this panel, everyone listening to Cantina MX every weekend and week out. You guys make it really special. So thank you all, and we will catch you on the next one. Good night. Thank you, YouTube. Sorry I wasn't able to read the comments. Love Handles. What's up, lad? I'll listen to the pod tomorrow. All I have to say is England made the adjustments to play Mexico, and Javier Aguirre did not. I agree there. Pepe says, disappointing thing about today was the talent gap between both teams. I wish Mexico was more talented. I don't think talent was the reason why we got knocked out today. It was a tactical thing. Chuy Garcia. Well, it was a good run. Excited for the youth in the next one. But like we all thought, Aguirre seeded the game when Memote came in instead of youth and speed. He went with the old guys. I think he went with the tall boys. David Vasquez. They took out all midfield attacking threat, left Brian alone. Pinches Troncos, Memote, and Santi subbing in. Yeah, I agree. The second we took out Quiñones, I think we were done. Who's going to run back from Europe to cash out besides that Muertazo Sanchez who finessed the spot to do nothing? I think Jorge had a decent World Cup, man. People were hating. I was hating on him before the World Cup kicked off, but he actually surprised me. He had a good run. Does the host still think Jimmy Lozano is a bum? Look, man, I think Jimmy Lozano lost the plot. He lost the locker room. He lost the authority. I don't think he had authority to begin with. He was an interim coach, let's call it what it is. And they weren't able to lure any respectable coach. So they decided to go with Jimmy. I think that's honestly why we stayed with Jimmy. It was because we couldn't attract a world-class coach. And when things were going south for Jimmy, that's when we decided to call up Javier Aguirre for the third time. We don't learn our lesson. I think Jimmy Lozano is a bum. I don't think, I mean, what is he doing now? He's on TV for Telemundo. I think he's doing like classes in Texas or some shit. Like, there's a reason why Jimmy Lozano isn't getting any jobs right now. Thank you, YouTube, for listening to us on this painful night, but what a game it was. What a match it was. You know, I think any neutral fan watching the World Cup, we won the hearts and minds of a lot of neutrals, and I'm sure also the English crowd. I'm sure they gave us a lot of respect for the match that we gave them. We definitely made them sweat. I think we could hold up our head up high. But yeah, era para más.